Hello, and welcome back to Hit or Miss Hallmark movie reviews.
Put another shrimp on the barbie, eh?
Yeah.
I hope everyone is well. We have taken another small break. Sorry. But we were filming a documentary, and that, of course, takes up a lot of time. But we are back.
We are back.
Yes.
The documentary was good. It's
went very well.
Yes.
So now we're excited to be back here.
Maybe we'll post it on the channel at some point.
Yeah, I think once it's out of the film festival circuit thingy, I don't know what the rules are exactly, but yeah.
We're still in Spring into Love.
We're behind, but we're gonna try our best to catch up.
Our first one back is
When Love Springs.
Boing.
I always forget the name of this one. It just doesn't stick.
Yeah, it feels like something that they, like Hallmark just retitled.
Because I think it's like Spring into Love. It's like very similar to the whole programming name.
Yeah.
Right? So this one stars
Rhiannon Fish.
and James William O'Halloran.
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 Yes.
O'Halloran, yes. And who knew this was actually going to be an episode of Neighbours?
Neighbours.
Neighbours.
Yes.
Which is, if you don't know, a very popular Australian soap opera. Anyone was on Neighbours. Kylie Minogue, Margot Robbie, Guy Pearce. I think every Australian actor got their start on Neighbours.
It's like the Mickey Mouse thing. But
I guess, yeah.
But for
it's
soap
still
operas?
on, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the Australians trying to do American accents. I mean, we'll get more into that, I guess, right?
Wholly distracting.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, we'll get more into that.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get into this one. What's it about?
A junior PR professional arrives at a quaint B&B for her parents' vow renewals and runs into a former flame who broke her heart. Panicked and afraid of humiliation, she pretends the B&B owner is her new boyfriend.
Well. Well, what do we think?
Okay, so, I have to admit, I haven't been the biggest fan of Rhiannon. She's fine for the most part, but when she goes into her baby voice, that's what really turns me off about her. But gladly, we don't really get much of that at all here. So that's good.
I think you're gonna have to get over that one, considering she hasn't even done that in like the last 2 movies.
No, that's not true. I think she did that in the Tyler movie. She did that in the Tyler Hines movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so I don't like the term like filler episode or filler movies for that matter, but this is kind of what this one felt like to me. It just seemed to fill in a gap. It wasn't very memorable. It didn't have any standout performances. It was very run-of-the-mill Hallmark, especially of the tropes. The tropes weren't really presented in a new or exciting way. It was just okay. I didn't hate it, but I found it kind of boring.
I mean, I would not agree that there was no standout performances for sure, but I mean, this was a Hallmark acquisition, not Hallmark proper. So that would definitely be the definition of a Hallmark going to the pot for some filler material.
Yeah, so it is a filler. It is a filler.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I thought it still fared well, even with it being a little boring.
I think great writing, great performances, and even certain directing choices can bring something fresh and different to those tropes, and I didn't see any of that here. Like the fake boyfriend trope, I don't even think it was worth doing here. It wasn't executed very well. They barely did any fake out for anybody. You know what I mean? There wasn't enough of those scenarios for them to even warrant pretending, I think.
Yeah, I will agree with that. They were only ever even on screen with other people twice in the movie. So the fake boyfriend trope was fairly unnecessary, but oops, it was the main trope used here. It was basically the movie.
I know.
Why was it even necessary to try and fool her family?
It wasn't necessary, yeah. I will say, though, that it does progressively get a little bit better. I think the beginning was a bit of a train wreck, but it does get better, but not enough to redeem itself. But I will say that I really liked the quote, and of course it ends up being the whole theme of the movie or the lesson that you learn, and it's, what is it?
On the fan?
Oh yeah, on the fan, yes. It was written on the fan,
What
yeah.
is that?
There are 2 moments in life, those you miss and those you seize.
Fan down.
Okay, I thought that was a good lesson.
Yeah, that was cute. It was a good ending. The ending dragged on a little bit.
Definitely dragged on. There was 3 endings within the whole span of the ending.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It felt long to get there, but I don't feel like there was like a lot to redeem here. Even with it being a slow movie, it was still fairly enjoyable. And if you could ignore the writing mishaps and literally every actor slipping out of their American accent in absolutely every scene, and with the exception of Noah's father, none of the acting was bad. It was just
nothing stood out to me though.
Yeah,
Nothing was memorable.
But on that note, let's get to the performances.
Yeah. Rhiannon as Rory was great here. She was funny, she was charming, she's very pretty, and when she doesn't lean into her baby talk, like I mentioned, she's totally great. I like her a lot. She is the standout for me here, for sure.
Yeah, Rhiannon is also the standout for me. She seems to be like the Hallmark lady to beat this year, and I think she's going to be stiff competition for even any of the seasoned veterans. She does everything quite well. She's funny, but she can still be convincingly serious when needed.
I don't agree with that though. I don't think she can stand up to some of the veterans. I don't think she's quite there yet.
Oh no, she's already better than most of them.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
you gotta, there's a new group here where people that can actually be funny and act. I mean, if you put her up in
she is funny.
Hollow the Holly, like she would have stomped Lacey into the ground in that movie. Because it's like it required something a little more. That movie was still very funny, but it wasn't for Lacey.
She's no Bethany, that's for sure.
That's the only girl you ever mentioned.
And
you might not see it, but it's very true. And Rhiannon is in the ilk with Bethany because those two actresses
I don't see that, but
are much better than a lot of the Hallmark veterans that we're used to. Because they're a new ilk. It's like they're
Bethany
younger,
is in
they're
that
funnier.
Group. She is definitely in
Bethany
that group.
is like the leader of that group.
Of
but
course. She's
she
funny.
stands out in the way that Rhiannon stands out, and when you compare her to other Hallmark ladies.
Kudos to Cleo, Rory's sister, played by Renee Herbert, who I think had the best American accent out of the bunch, right?
Definitely.
She was very pretty, yeah.
Yeah, she was very good and definitely had the most convincing accent out of the bunch, but probably because she's the youngest out of all of them, so she hasn't had the accent that long, and she is in America a lot. But I don't think she stole anything from Rhiannon on screen. Her eyebrows are actually a little too bushy for my liking.
Oh my goodness, look at you noticing that.
However, I came across this picture of her and her twin sister.
Oh boy.
That almost made me change my mind. Yikes.
She's young. She's young. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
No, I know, but it's like the two of them together. It's like, oh wow, that's a whole thing. And although Noah, played by James O'Halloran, had the slipperiest of the accents,
awful.
I still rather enjoyed his performance. I thought he worked on screen pretty well. Like he had a good face. He's smiley and agreeable enough. Like he didn't stand out, but I did like him.
Noah, I'm on the fence, because part of me thought he was cute and he was sweet and he was charming, but I just found him dull.
Yeah, but I think he was written dull.
Sure, it's bad writing for sure.
And he's probably stressing his accent the entire time because he had a lot of lines.
He was too focused on not having the Australian slip out that I think his performance suffered.
I think it was weird writing, having them be like a multi-generational American family. Like there's no way this movie would have worked if it was just in Australia. Like why not? Why not just make it in Queensland?
It's awful, because when you're an actor, your lines have to be a part of you. They're ingrained in you. It's like second nature, pretty much.
Yeah,
and it didn't feel like that because he was so worried about his accent.
If you're always thinking of how am I gonna
say it? How am I gonna make sure the American sticks?
The other actors and actresses didn't seem like they were thinking of that at all.
No, they all kind of let it all slip at some point.
Yeah.
The boss, Melody, I thought she was a bit annoying, but I think she played the boss, the mean boss, perfectly here. She even had the look, like the short hair, the little suits, the red lips.
She did.
She was annoying.
I hated that, so I suppose she did a good job. And actually, she had one of the slipperiest accents because that scene where she was yelling at her over the phone.
She did have a slip. Yeah. I mean, everybody had a slip. The mother had a slip. The father. Oh my gosh. And there was a line that the mother was given. She said barbecue.
Your barbecue skills.
Yeah. That's another thing. Why would you give these Australian people some of the words they gave them? Barbecue? B&B?
For sure that's coming out barbecue.
There's zero chance any Australian is going to say barbecue.
No,
barbecue.
That was bad. That was a bad one.
Yeah,
but there were several bad ones that we'll kind of lay in here.
Yeah, they were funny here and there. I mean, it didn't bother me at all. I just wanted it to be in Australia.
I found it very distracting, and we'll get to that now in Nitpicky, hit picky.
All right, let's get to the nits.
So, okay, a small one, but like, didn't it seem like he was the only one working at the B&B?
Yeah, I don't feel right about this.
What? Wait, why?
He seems to
It
do
did.
everything.
He was everything.
I saw a few wait staff, but like he seems.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I noticed a few wait staff in some of the dining room scenes, but he seems to be a one-man show.
Pretty
and
much.
I just didn't know how realistic
I think his
that was.
dad ran it with him, and
Yeah,
he
but his
showed up
dad
at the
showed up
end.
right at the
I
end.
know. But his dad seems like a silent partner.
But like you're the cook and then you're the guy at the front desk too. That's weird.
No, there's no pool, but the lake is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, well, also, Rhiannon was with him every scene basically, so there was
And
no
that's
time
weird
for
too.
even
That's
any
just
other.
weird.
Yeah. I
To
don't know.
have like a guest. I know that they had a deal in order, to.
It was a little stupid.
It was dumb. The whole premise is dumb. I'm sorry.
Well.
It was dumb. Another nitpicky, this is more mine, the screen splits. I'm okay with using them in the intro to add some like dynamic content and make things feel a bit more energetic. And during the intro, I actually mentioned out loud, I was like, oh, it looks pretty slick with the music.
Yeah, and then literally the next scene they use them, you're like, I hate it.
I'm like, it's too much. It's too much. Like one extra frame, it's too much. You feel it.
Yeah,
I mean, they shouldn't have went on with it.
Some of the flowers and they were using in them, I guess, was
Like, do you really
unnecessary.
need to
but-
see, like, what's the purpose of the split screen? There needs to be a purpose. I know, like, in one side you're seeing them walk over here in the gardens, but then do we need to see what plants are over here?
I mean, no,
Like,
the
why?
purpose was they were just using it in all the B-roll, basically.
It was
But-
it didn't have intent.
Well, no,
didn't have
it
intent.
ended up having intent because they used it for like the phone calls and stuff. And like when
The
she
only time
when she
it was
started
used-
trying to ignore her boss and it like
And it
slowly
pushed her out?
like it was
That's
very well
the only
used.
time it was well used.
Well-
aside from the intro, because I can see that being used in an intro. It's very standard.
That's a little over nitpicky, but
No,
yeah.
it was just overused here, and I noticed it, and I was just like, okay, we get it. You're editing.
Yeah.
Another nitpicky, the American accent. I mean,
Crikey!
How lovely to meet you.
It is such a pleasure to meet you both.
Oh no, the pleasure's ours.
they weren't fooling anybody there. They didn't.
No, not for a second. It was like
No.
literally everybody's first entrance into the movie. I was like,
Right, sure.
Australian.
He absolutely loves him.
Oh dear.
He's kind of planned a fishing trip with him and Noah in the summer.
Of course he has.
Yeah.
We looked it up. Australia.
Promise me you'll remember that.
Australian.
A very real business and a fake girlfriend is.
Australian. The only person that didn't have an accent, obviously, other than Renee, was Rhiannon because she's from Australia, but she doesn't have an accent.
I think she spent time in Canada. She's like, in her IMDb bio, it says American Canadian.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry,
her-
Canadian Australian.
Yeah, I don't think she has an accent at all. I know that Renee does.
It was awful. It just kept slipping and slipping.
Oh, everybody.
It was so obvious.
It was
oh my
pretty
God.
bad. It was so distracting.
Very distracting.
Honey, we got your text.
I thought you weren't leaving till tomorrow.
Not very great. I know that might be harsh. I'm sure it's hard. I couldn't sustain any kind
No,
of
for sure.
accent
Well,
if
you
I
know
wasn't
what? The
from
funny
there.
thing is, I could probably do a whole movie in an Australian accent.
I mean, Australian, we kind of like joke around in Australian accent, but
But they very badly needed an American voice director or a vocal coach for this movie.
Yeah.
But the other thing, a lot of it could have been fixed in ADR, but it also felt like they did ADR and still just fucking left it or whatever and still suffered the same fate.
I'm sure it's very difficult. But
Yeah, I know.
you're an actor,
It's an
so put the time in to kind of like do that and practice that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nitpicky. Why celebrate this anniversary on a Monday and not do it on the weekend?
Well, I mean, that was the actual anniversary.
I know it's the actual anniversary, but come on, even
So,
if
but
your
that-
actual
that's- but that's
anniversary
the-
falls on a
But
Monday.
that's the reason. It doesn't matter. It's
And
not,
you
it's
have
not
a weekend
technically-
getaway?
It's not technically a memorial, or if you don't do it on the same day, and then it's just like what? You're one of those people that celebrate their birthday the weekend
I'm
before.
just saying,
like,
especially
stupid.
if you're doing one thing at home, like having cake and like whatever, that's one thing. Sure, have it on the Monday. But
I
you're
mean,
actually
you
going
can,
away.
You can tell that they wrote it in because they needed there
Conflict.
to be
They
conflict.
needed conflict. I
but
understand it.
There
It's just
is
stupid.
nothing strange about it being on a Monday because if that was their,
I thought
if,
it was
that,
strange.
if that was their
I thought it was
anniversary,
stretching.
that's their anniversary. The no other day is their anniversary.
Nah, I thought the conflict, the reason is stretching. Like, think of something else.
Yeah,
Think of something better.
I don't
but-
think that's a big one.
So another nit. Did they really forget to book a photographer and to get flowers for the event for this like renewal, this vow renewal event for her parents. I mean, she's a PR professional. This is what she does, and I don't care how busy she was or how stressed out she was. She wouldn't have forgotten that for her parents.
Yeah, but like, why do you need to bring somebody? Everybody can just do it themselves. And then her realizing
But her
that
whole
Noah
thing was
was
like,
already,
oh, I forgot
Noah was
to, like,
already
book
doing
it.
20 jobs at the end, but considering his actual passion
And
was...
he's the photographer.
Yeah, but his actual passion was photography that he shared with her, showed her the books. Him being the photographer is actually a special thing. Like,
Of
that was
course,
something
he
he
ends up
wanted
being the
to do.
photographer.
Well,
This
yeah.
is like the guy does everything.
Oh no, it's just a hobby, really. I'm not very good.
It just added to the absurdity of it.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think that wasn't weird.
I thought it was weird.
It was funny seeing him like hiding in the back taking pictures of Rhiannon and everybody. It reminded me of
I didn't
a
like
picture
it.
of her.
Nit Picky. Okay, the logo.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, at first glance, I thought it was very minimal, it was simple, it was a nice modern representation of the older logo. However, I thought it was so simple that like anyone could have done, like, you just go on like
It was done by AI.
AI could have done it.
It was
and
ChatGPT.
AI probably would have done something a little bit better.
Well, it would have been pretty close.
I just thought it was kind of silly. Like, okay, that's something you could just do online really quickly with any online software. I thought that was kind of bad. Okay, Nit Picky. For me, in particular, the white sandals. Right off the bat, when I saw Rory wearing them, I said, I do not like those shoes. They are just so dated and not like a cool dated. I just thought they were like schoolgirl 80s in not a very flattering way. They cut you off at the ankle and it was just not
I
good.
mean, I have to point out that you have dozens of pairs of shoes that are fucking way uglier.
No, I disagree.
Way uglier.
I disagree.
You don't have much of a say. No, you have like so many pairs that you bought in the past. If you're going to talk about something fashion, talk about the horrible hats on everybody. But that's actually something that you put
I'll
in
get to
hit.
the hats.
Yeah, exactly. It's not,
That's because they were doing.
what have you put on your head? Who gives a shit on your feet?
I mean, I noticed it. They emphasized it. They zoomed in on it.
I liked the shoes.
I didn't like the shoes at all. But what I did like was the Pretty Woman reference with the polka dot dress and the hat.
And this stupid hat.
I love any reference to Pretty Woman. I love Pretty Woman, and this kind of reminded me of when they did the Carrie Bradshaw reference in, what was it called? Paris Proposal.
Another reference to terrible fashion.
No, the Carrie Bradshaw dress?
Terrible.
No.
Ugly.
No.
Oh, so ugly.
The Carrie
so
Bradshaw dress
ugly.
was great, and the polka dot
You
dress
clearly
is
just have
great.
no taste.
No! I want everyone's opinion in the comments.
Yeah, me too.
What did you think about the dresses?
Do you like a
I
giant
liked-
flower and a polka dot hat? Like, what?
Let us know. Let us know in the comments below.
Well, hit. I liked all the on-screen supers they were doing for like the phone calls because there was a lot of phone calls she was like dodging or trying to ignore, and there's not really a way to convey that, like her just looking at her phone, hanging up the entire time. But there was like they did the tracking thing where it would follow her around, and they used They used it a little too much, but it was still pretty successful.
Give it that. Let's get to the writer and the director. The writer here is Ainsley Gordon.
Well, that sounds healthy.
Yeah, so she has many acting credits and a few upcoming writing credits, but other than that, I didn't really see much else. And some of her acting credits include Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, The Boyfriend Trap, and she also starred in and wrote Love on the Reef. Yeah.
Right, in the reef.
The director here is Joanne Brecken, an Aussie. Everyone's Aussie.
Sure.
Some other credits include Miss Inc., which I think she's most known for that. It's like a documentary about a tattoo artist, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
And there are several shorts and TV series credited to her as well. But this is her first Hallmark movie.
Oh.
So that's cool.
Quite. So, did this hit or miss the Hallmark for you?
Unfortunately, this was a miss for me.
Right. Well, this was a hit for me.
Okay, for sure.
Rhiannon completely saved this movie, and she
great.
She deserves a hit for this,
She was
regardless of bad
great.
writing
She was the best
and
part of the movie.
bad everything else. So
It
it was
just
definitely not bad enough to give a miss.
Okay. There are hits out there. They're coming. I can feel it. They're coming, for sure. I'm optimistic that they're coming. Just this was not one.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring up the list.
Let's do it. Hallmark checklist. Here we go. A promotion or deadline?
Yes.
Okay, with her job?
Yeah.
Okay. Career-driven lead, definitely. Almost like to a fault, really.
Few of
Who
them.
misses their parents' vow renewal to go back to work? I thought that was weird.
She was going to become partner. Duh.
Weird.
A big misunderstanding.
Yes. The whole premise of this was the
The
pretend
whole
fake
stupid
out.
premise.
Yeah. Change of heart.
Yes. Someone gets dumped, fired, or dies.
Yes. I mean, Jason got dumped.
Yes. Yes, she did.
Second romance subplot. I'm gonna say yes, the parents.
Yeah, I guess so.
I thought they were cute and romantic. I
They're
loved
cute.
that subplot
Yeah.
actually with the parents' vow renewal.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
liked
it was a nice like non-committal plot sort of thing. It could have worked well. Proposal or wedding?
I'm gonna say yes.
I guess
it was
so.
a vow renewal.
Yeah, that
So
counts.
let's say that.
That
Yeah.
counts.
Travel issues. No.
No. Selling the house, business, or farm? Yes.
Yeah, the dad was going to sell the
Oh my God! I
B&B.
have to mention his accent was so bad, so bad that he shouldn't even have been in that movie because he
Awful.
had 2 lines the entire movie and they were train wrecks.
Oh my God.
He's either just a terrible actor or he was like in his head. It was like he didn't even bother trying. It was like, oh, that dad character is cringe.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was very bad.
Big city to small town transition.
Well, yes, for the majority of the movie, they're in that small town where the B&B is, right?
Yeah.
They almost kiss.
Yeah, got a few then.
Yeah, with Jason too.
Oh,
With the
right.
ex-boyfriend.
I mean, did that count? No, I thought it was just a hug.
No, I thought it was an almost kiss. I'm gonna say that's an almost kiss.
Yeah, right. That's an
Yeah.
okay. And the mad dash.
She did the mad dash.
Yeah,
she
she
came
did.
back to the vow renewal
Yeah,
ceremony.
mad dash back to your parents' fucking second
Yeah,
wedding.
like she should have. You shouldn't have even left.
Hey, why'd you leave?
Why?
Dumb.
Not a good one.
No, this is worth a watch.
I don't think
take
so.
her word for it.
I don't think so. There's a lot
Watch it,
better
watch
out
it
there.
yourself. There are better out there, but there's
It gets better.
There's a lot worse.
There are moments. There are moments that are good. I liked some of the montages and some of the music choices and the sweetness of the overall message, the quote. Rhiannon was funny and pretty charming in this, but it's just not enough to be a hit for me. And that's all.
And yeah, well, we'll see you in a few days for the next review. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah, and let us know if this was a hit or miss for you.
And we'll see you next episode.
Bye.
Toodles!